I'm gonna learn this Periscope. I'm gonna be a genius at it soon. I want to thank everybody for joining us. I'm coming in early. Well, I'm coming in just on time. Actually, I've been coming in early, but I always forget you have to title your Periscope. Learning curve on me. You have to title your Periscope, and you want to add some hashtags to it. And once I got here, I had the hashtags in my head as I was driving home, but I realized that I didn't have them. Once I got here, I totally forgot. So I ended up just, okay, let's just name it what I named it, the 21st Century Marketing for Authors. And thank you for joining me. My name is Sylvia Hubbard, and I am an indie author of over 30 romance novels. Hey, Marshall, how you doing, Miss Film Guru of Detroit? Everybody needs to follow Marshall to find out what's going on in the film industry, especially in indie markets. So, hey, I'm also a founder of Motown Writers Network, which has a network of a website where we have thousands and thousands of authors. But what we do is we help authors get to their literary goals, and we connect readers to Michigan authors. So that is our goal in life, and it's a labor of love for me. We've been around for, 15, 16 years. Hey, Greg, how are you? I got to get used to looking at the bottom of the screen because I'm trying to stay with the top. Hey, Tracy, that is Miss Nightcap. Y'all better join her to find out her interesting adult talks. She is awesome, so follow her. And Greg, make sure you follow him because he has this great program if you have to donate food cards to the homeless. So he's awesome. Hey, Diane, welcome back. Thanks for inviting people. That's another thing. If you guys could go ahead and send this out, tweet this out to your followers, to the Twitter world and everything. Let people know that I am here and I am getting ready to talk. Let me finish my intro. I am a blogger over at loveablackwoman.com, which is my personal experience of being a mom, being inspirational, just getting out there in the 21st century and practicing sanity, basically. And then there's the Motown Mom Musing blog, where we share information about things that go around Detroit and how to raise a productive, educated kid in the city of Detroit, which is, of course, a challenge for any woman who lives here. So I share my experience, what I know, and I think I did a pretty good job for what I had. So that was great. I want to thank you guys for the last one. You guys came in and you gave me great feedback on the podcast. I mean on the vidcast, on the replays. So I want to thank you guys. Really, it was just really great for coming in, answering and challenging me by asking me questions and everything. If you like what I say now, give me hearts. I do love those. That kind of helps me to know that you're still paying attention. I'm saying something that you like, and we can get this going as we start off our talk on the 21st century marketing. Now, the reason why I call it the 21st century marketing is because I've been in the business of marketing books since 2000. Before they even had ebooks on the internet. So that's old. And actually, I had to learn about marketing my books on the internet before it was even acceptable to market books on the internet. I even had a bestseller author come to me during that time and say, well, no one will buy books off the internet. And that was in 2001. And this was on the precipice of Amazon just becoming explosive and just being in the business of ebooks when it was unacceptable, when it was treated as, back alley dealings of the book world. Or you were not a real author if you were just an ebook author back then. Being in that market, and being around those people who were really trying to find a way to say, hey, I had a book, and even though I can't make it a paperback, then I can do this, and I can get on the internet, and I can make some money. It was a great time to be an author, even though it was a terrible time to be an author at the same thing. But I learned a lot, and now that we are in the 21st century and we have this trend where ebooks and paperback books are fighting for survival on both fronts, this is a wonderful time for me to be able to start over. If you don't know my story, hey Joel, I'm honored to have you here, Mr. Poet Man. Love you, love you. Um, I if you don't know my story, about 3 years ago, I had a house fire, burned down everything. So I'm pretty much starting back over, but I kind of know where to start. So that kind of helps me. But during my journey, I decided, well, I want to do something different and not the same thing that I've been doing. But I want to take what I've learned in the 20th century and bring it to the forefront so people can really understand, yes, you can still do the same stuff, but just in a slightly new way. So this is why I call it the 21st century to marketing for authors. You can do this for authors. Businesses can actually take these tips. Entrepreneurs can take these tips. Almost anybody can take these tips and use them for their own gain. So let's start off with the first thing. And actually, I have a slideshow, PowerPoint, which I actually put together for a long time ago when someone asked me to speak on the fly. And I always have PowerPoints for everything. So let's start off. Get your piece of paper out. That's what I wanted to put on the thing. Get your piece of paper out right now because I'm going to be going through. If you do have questions, and I'm going to try to get to them as we go, but if I miss them at the end, we will have an answer and question session. So if you stay with us, I definitely will try to answer everyone's questions, and even if they're off topic, I'll try to do that as well. So let's start off. Got your piece of paper? Let's go. So the first thing about the 21st century advantage is that you have the advantage of, with little to no money, to compete with major publishers, major authors, and get next to them, right next to them on the bookshelf. That is major, because back in the day, you had to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars in order to do that, in order to have your book as a bestseller, in order to even think about being on Barnes and Noble's shelf, in order to even just imagine, your book appearing on Oprah, which, we have a local favorite who's got his book tonight, who's going to have his appearance on Oprah. I mean, to be able to say that you can do this just out of your own home without opening up our own office somewhere, or getting 100,000 printed copies of it done. I mean, this is amazing. In the 21st century, you have no excuse not to be out there promoting and marketing your book, and at least bringing something to the game of some kind of money every month. You have the advantage of having your book on the same bookshelf as a veteran author. And yes, that is. Thank you. Yes. Thanks, Diane, for taking notes. You are awesome. Everybody needs to go follow Diane too. She has this awesome radio show that highlights authors. So if you want to be on the show, go get with Diane and find out how to do that. She has a great show. Well, the first thing we need to first know about the 21st century marketing is the word engage. Now, I know you're an author, but inside you are a writer, which means you are an introvert by born and bred. But because you have become this author, you now have to be this introvert that pretends to be an extrovert. So you have to engage with your readers, with your social media, which that's what that means, to be social. Is to engage, is to say, hey, how you doing? I'm out here. Look at me. I'm doing something just amazing. So you do have to do this engagement to your public as you're out there. So when you're engaging with your readers, you're understanding and increasing your readership and comments on your web blog or your website, wherever you want to call it, and in order to increase traffic and sales of product. So the first thing you need to do to start this whole process off with the engagement, with the increase in sales, with the marketing, everything is get a marketing plan. Even if you sit down, take a journal like this, even if it's like a small little journal where you can just take it and literally write down, this is what I want to do. This is what I would like to achieve. This is my 1-year plan, my 2-year plan, my 5-year plan, my 10-year plan. Writers are the worst people to write things down, but we need to, because you will need to address how your book is going to be sold, who your book is going to be sold to, and of course it's not going to be sold to everybody. Outline your promotion strategies and write down realistic promotion. I always tell my authors, write down 5 realistic promotion strategies that you can do, and then write down 2 unrealistic. That means, hey, I want to sit on Oprah's couch. Hey, I would like to sell books in Paris during Valentine's Day with this big party that I, of course, paid for with my book sales. Write down something really extravagant to kind of get you really up there, but also keep it realistic with the 5 goals that, okay, make sure you have at least one local goal. I'll hit every library in the county, and actually people don't know, Detroit has one of the largest library systems in the country. So if they buy your books, they're going to buy a lot of your books, not just 1 or 2. They're actually going to buy more books than other library systems buy. You're going to actually have a statewide goal. You can have a national goal, an international goal. But like I said, those 5 goals, make them feasible. That is very important. Feasible, realistic. People don't think that anymore because they think, oh, I got a book, I got to get it in everybody's hands. Well, it's just like the 20th century marketing. Start small and then grow. Everybody is a seed, then you have to grow. But you have to be realistic about that growth, because if you're not, you're going to lose out on opportunities that could have gotten you to that international goal while you were so focused on trying to be international. These locals are just hitting you up, hey, come visit us, and then you miss out on it. So make sure you're doing that. Get a press kit together and make sure it's an online press kit, a digital copy of your press kit, and make it nice, make it downloadable in a PDF format. Have it on your about page so people can, when they're reading about who you are, they can actually download that right away and take it with them. Use your website as a way to download your book information, and like I said, press kit about you is very important. A lot of authors don't do that. When I go to their websites, I have no information about them except that they were the son of a sharecropper or they were saved at October the 7th. I kid you not. I want to know more. I want to be able to talk to you. Sometimes I want to be able to just take information from your website and put it right on mine, but you don't have that available, so I'm not able to do that. Make sure, number one, your bio is 3rd person. I get tired of going to websites and hear I all the time in the website and in their bio. 3rd person bios automatically. That's a real quick tip. So we're going to first start with offline marketing tactics. And at the end, I'm going to give you like a roundabout of everything. And I know it's going to be really overwhelming, but at the end, I am going to give you some 6 tips to kind of help you just take everything I said, put it all together in one, and also some pointers that you need to know, as you go into this 21st century marketing. So, offline marketing tactics for the 21st century. You want to make sure you have promotional products, which means you want to make sure you have your business cards, and make sure your business cards, here's mine. Now, for a 21st, and I'm going to give you a 21st century marketing tip for your business card. So, let's pull it back a little if you can see it. Okay, so it might be a little backwards, but your business card should actually, make sure you have a great top thing where people can actually see what it is you do. So this card represents my author card and also my network card. So it's Motown Writers Network. We have our tagline here, and I also have my website name as well. So it's Motown Writers Network, but I put MotownWriters.com. That's to save space. I also have my logo here, and I have, of course, what's called a QR code. This is 21st Century Marketing, and you actually can scan that right there and start reading a free book by me. That's what's so cool about it. Also, I have my website. I have like my email, my phone number, and then 2 other websites I'm associated with, Motown Writers Network and Love a Black Woman. Now, what's so 21st century about this card? Number 1, it's spacey and simple. People can read it right away. But number 2, I got my face on my card. That is the 21st century marketing. When people are constantly, when they're going to offline events, they're getting cards from everywhere. So you want to make sure when they get your card and they pick it up later on that night and say, well, okay, who was this? How did I meet this person? Bam. They can see your face. They remember your face, and they can say, bam. Of course, a professional picture. No bathroom shots, please. That would be awesome. Don't want to see the toilet in the back or the shower curtains. So make sure you do that. And actually, at the bottom of it, I ask, what can I do for you? Automatically, I'm telling them I'm going to be a resource and I'm going to engage with you even when I'm not around. And that's a great tip on your business cards. When you have book signings, it's not a book signing. When you put together a book signing offline, do an event. It should be an event. A lot of times when I'm talking to indie bookstores, when I'm talking to libraries, they say, well, the reason why they turn down a lot of indie authors is because all they do is just say, well, I want to have a book signing at your location. They don't want just a book signing. Book signing does not get foot traffic. An event does. So when you approach a library or when you approach a bookstore, you want to say, hey, I would like to have an event. Get a quick thing about the event. I'm going to give you an example. For the library, Parkman Library, I decided, well, I had met her a couple of months ago and at a brunch, and I said, well, they have a great technology center. They have a great resource in technology, and they feed the community a lot of technology. Well, I want to call her up and say, hey, why don't I have a social media class, and not only for authors but for readers. So I want to show authors not only how to use social media, but I also want to show readers how not only to be in social media, but to make money from social media by reading. Doesn't that sound interesting? If you were a librarian or if you were a bookstore owner, you know how you're not only am I trying to get authors into the store, but I'm also getting readers into the store or into the library, and that's awesome for them. They would love that event, and that's what I'm going to be doing in May and July. She actually asked me for 2 classes. She's like, can you do 2 of them, because we want to make sure people get this session, and I'm going to be doing that. So that makes it's awesome for me. I have somebody who wants to host it, market it for me, push it out there, and get people in there, because she knows that this is going to be an awesome event. But bring awesome events, not just a book signing. Nobody want to see you sit there and just read for 20 minutes. I kid you not. I went to a book signing and they sat up there and they read for 20 minutes, and I wanted to die and I wanted to walk out, but that would have been rude because it was really quiet. Okay, so number 3 on offline marketing tactics. Find offline media to promote in. You still have to do the press releases. A lot of authors don't do the press releases anymore. Hey, Sormag. Hey, LaShonda. Follow Sormag.com. Go there and get some great author interviews, great author promotions, and great information about marketing and promoting. So, and it's her birthday month, so let's say happy birthday to to you. Thank you. So a lot of authors forget about the offline media that is out there. And when I say it's thousands and thousands of magazines, newsletters, newspapers that are out there. Hey, Warren. there's a lot of the using press releases are still very valuable. Now I'm going to tell you who you would love to follow, and his name is Dante Lee. Dante used to run the company called PR Web, and I know probably LaShonda remembers Dante. He's still out there. He's still doing stuff, but he does other stuff now, which focuses in on ebooks. But they used to run this company called PR Web or Black PR Web as well, and he used to give out listings of just awesome. He's used to give out listings of offline magazines, e-zines, just small newsletters. Also, there's this thing called the encyclopedia. I'm going to get my journal to make sure I get this right. You can go to the library, actually, and you can find niches of different journals to buy online. And it's called the Encyclopedia of Organizations. And they have a large United States edition, plus then they have Midwest, Central, Western, Northwest, Southwest districts, where you can actually go find organizations that do newsletters and put articles inside of those depending upon your niche. And no matter what your niche is, they have organizations listed in here. Every organization that is officially listed in the United States will be in this encyclopedia of organizations. And you can usually pick it up at the library. If you want to get your own copy, they're actually $1,200 if you roll like that. But you can actually pick them up at the library, go through it, and actually find organizations that do. You can send your press releases to when you're doing stuff in the area that circles on that niche or for that organization. So that is awesome. That's an offline tactic people forget about, and that's off the board, but you can still use great press releases to these organizations, to these news outlets that are still printing in paper and newsletters. A lot of people say, well, the newspaper is going away, but a lot of organizations still deliver newsletters out there to the public. There's also, it's also promotional material or marketing material, such as pins. I've seen flash drive promotions and stuff like that. Right. Oh, of course. Thank you. Thank you. Check out Diane's where you can go on there and get interviews. So yeah, check out definitely. So now we're going to go to online promotions, which now you really got to get out your pen and paper. Number one, marketing online. That's one of the things we're going to talk about. Connecting with offline people online. A lot of people don't realize you can do that, and they have a great thing called meetup.com. A lot of people stop using that after a while, which I don't know why, because you can actually build great networking skills by finding organizations that meet up offline but congregate online to prepare to meet up offline. So you want to make sure you are doing that as well, meeting these people. And like I said, make sure you get great business cards. So the marketing online, we're going to switch to that. First, we're going to start off with your website. Double line that right now, my website. So the first thing you need to know about 21st century marketing towards your website is, how do people get to your blog? And a lot of people don't realize, well, a lot of authors don't go into, number one, what's really important is statistics and analytics and how people find you. They never really understand that. They never try to understand it, but it's really important to know who comes to your blog. So you have search engines, you have links, you have listings on other websites or inside of comments elsewhere. Of course, because whenever you make a great comment on somebody else's blog, of course, you're going to have a link to yours. Repeat subscribers and customers, social networks, because you should be using your social networks basically like breadcrumbs into your site. And your super fans, love, love, love your super fans and your followers, because they're the people who are going to be able to shout over that big stadium you're in and get your message out the most. They are your word of mouth people that love you, support you, make sure you get it done. while we're talking, make sure you share this out, of course, to your Twitter followers, and make sure other people know if you haven't. Hey, Miss Shamika. I gotta call you later, girl, because I got a job proposal for you. So don't text me later. So you got a website. If you don't have a website, I'm gonna talk to both of you. So improve your website right now. You can no longer have that billboard website anymore. Even if you started a blog and you didn't, and you stopped, you want to start it back up again. You want to, number one, for your website, place an opt-in box on your site where you can gather emails. Emails are powerful. LaShonda has a great, she has great periscopes on this, and she do talk about building web mailing lists and everything. So make sure you follow SoarMag magazine, soarmag.com, and LaShonda for information about that. But building your mailing list is really important. On your blog, not only the opt-in box, you want to make sure you have a sample of your work somewhere. You want to send out regular newsletters to let people know, hey, this is what's up. This is what contests I got going on. This is who's talking about me. You can have free PDF resources. So you want to improve your website by adding these little features. Sometimes adding these little features can greatly make your website awesome. People are like, oh, I don't know what to talk about. Trust me, you can find something to talk about. You just need to update your website at least once a week and make it great when you do it. Make sure you have your email newsletter going out, like I said, and subscriptions are very clear. When people come in and sign up, tell them exactly what they're going to be getting. When they come into my website, they sign up, they know they're going to get a free book, and they're going to get updates about the site and things that I'm doing. Use easy to use email, and make sure it's not like where it takes over the whole screen. Make it so it's really simple. It doesn't lock up people's computer. I don't know why. I don't know what some people use, but sometimes they use things that just lock up the computer. And make sure it's in above the fold. That means no matter what kind of screen they have, they'll be able to see an email box ready for them if they are not subscribed to that website. If you've been offering one thing for a long time, create something new to revitalize interest in your offer. Like for me, as of, I believe in May, we're changing the story. Actually, what people get, they get this story as soon as they sign up for my site. And in that story, and actually I use WordPress.com. If you don't know, I use WordPress.com for my personal site. Just because I want to show people you can still create a great site without spending a lot of money. For $18 a year, because I have mapping, I'm getting a great site from WordPress.com. So what people do is when they sign up, and you can, if you're in WordPress, you can just go into your widgets, and in your widgets you can just actually type in what people can have when they sign up, a welcome message. In that welcome message, you give them a link to a PDF or to a blog post that has a story in it. That's what I do as a fiction writer. As a nonfiction writer, you can have a free resource like a PDF or even in a blog post that's a private page. If it's a post, make it a private page so like not everybody can find this page. Only people who come into the website can, or have that link if you make it a private page. Not a password protected page, because you can't give out that password all the time, but a private page where they can go in and actually read that story, and it's not in the search engines. Okay, speaking of search engines, and make sure like you give me hearts if I'm saying something that you like. That really helps me out to make sure I'm saying something. And ask questions if you have anything to say. I don't mind. So we're moving on to search engines, going to the next subject. And like I said, we're going to wrap it up and like at the end, and I'm going to go through some of the stuff, just some key points of other things. So search engines. A lot of people don't know, once you build your website, or a lot of people haven't done this, but you can actually register your site with Google. You can actually let Google know you have this site. This is your site. By going to google.com, when you scroll down to the bottom, it says add site. You can also do this on Yahoo and other major sites where you can just add the site there. Now, that's why I kind of like using WordPress.com, because they actually definitely will register your site for you, number one. But also, what I said when I said earlier, domain mapping, they actually will break down your site so it appears beautifully on Google. So when you type in sylviahubbard.com, you can actually see my site broke down by, and this is actually done. I'm gonna go and discuss it now. I'm not gonna be able to show you now, but I want you to be able to, when you type it in, what you're gonna be looking at. So when you go into google.com and you do Sylvia Hubbard, and then on the sidebar, Google breaks it down to what I'm doing, and it pulls this information from not only Google, your Google Plus profile, but it also pulls it from your WordPress, it pulls it from your Facebook, and a lot of times just being able to break yourself down, have pictures and images. I mean, people have no doubt who Sylvia Hubbard is when you type in Sylvia Hubbard. And I'm sure there are thousands of Sylvia Hubbards out there on the internet, but because I use domain mapping and I use Google Plus, it's able to really know who the real Sylvia Hubbard is, and who everybody should be following. So if I'm on TV or anything like that, and I say my name, people can actually just say, okay, I don't remember who she was, but I remember her name was Sylvia Hubbard. They can actually type in Sylvia Hubbard, and then they'll find me anywhere in the world. They'll be able to find me, which is awesome to be able to say that. Like, if people type in my name, they know who I am. Number two, they're able, like, I'm number one. My website is number one, and that is an awesome thing. And that means that Google knows that I post enough online to say this website belongs to her. That's very important, to be number one on Google. I mean, it's not critical or life or death, and don't pay people to do your Google. You can do it yourself if you follow these tips of just engaging, like we said, building a great website and getting people out there. We're going to be going over more tips as well. On your website, in terms of your search engine, yeah, it's an accomplishment. I talk too much. That's what it is, Diane. But in your search engines, you want to make sure you're paying attention to making sure your site has search engine optimization. I know I'm number one. Isn't that cool? I know, that is so cool. When I realized I was number one on Google about 2005, and that felt awesome. I Googled myself, and then I was like, oh my God, the first 2 pages was all about me. And that was awesome. They say if you want to hide a body, you can just hide it on like the 4th page of Google, because nobody ever goes that far. that's what I heard one time, and I was like, that was the best. Oh, thanks, Gray. Right. So, like, you want to make sure that you are number one, and that's what we're trying to do, is get you to number one. Oh, don't you lock up. Okay, there it is. Okay, we stopped for a second. So, next thing on search engines you're going to hear when you get into search engines is search engine optimization. Search engine optimization. That's SEO, search engine optimization, is basically you're able to build your website where it can connect you to the niches that you need to be connected to. That means when people are looking for you, they should be able to find you. You want to make sure you're building a website where it has search engine optimization, making sure you're using keywords, making sure you're using niche words on your website. You can even use hashtags inside of your website as you're doing your blog post or different things that you're setting up on your website. Number 2, to help the search engines find you as well, is creating articles or posts on your site that are connected to what you want people to be looking for when they search. So that's why they say, please make sure that you are putting keywords or niche words into your website. So when people want to be able to find you, if they're looking for an African American erotic novelist, they should be able to find me at least on the first 2 pages of Google, I believe. I think it is. I think if you look up African American erotic novel, I'm there somewhere. I can't remember what it is, but I do it so I say it so much on my website, like it pulls up. And I get a lot of searches for sensual romance. I get a lot of interracial romance. And the reason why I know my keywords is because I pay attention to my stats or my analytics when they come in from WordPress. So that's very important for me. So make sure, like I said, get your keywords, and you can actually go to if you type in Google Keyword Tool, you can actually research your niche and see what other coinciding words they use. Another great tool, of course, is Instagram. Instagram, definitely, you can find a lot of keywords over there that kind of help you to know what your people who are looking for you how they can find you. So make sure you look into that, your Google Keyword Tool. Just type in Google Keyword Tool, and you can actually find great tips on how to find keywords and niche words that you need. Okay, so next thing is links. Links that come into your site from another site or from a guest post, because you're doing these great articles. You're going to be sending them out, or you're going to be offline posting them in magazines and newsletters. So you want to make sure, of course, when you're doing these links, that they can get to your site. Stop letting your domain name expire. Keep your domain name. I get tired of people having domain names and then they expire every year, and then they get new domain names to their website. So make sure you keep up with your domain name connected to a credit card or a PayPal card that actually works. What I usually do to help your links or to help people connect to you better, contact one blogger in your niche this week about writing a guest post. Now, our last week thing was that we talked about finding podcasts and interviews. Well, this week, that's your homework assignment. Contact one blogger in your niche this week about writing a guest article for his or her blog, and do this every week. Even if you are taking that same article and tweaking it, and you do want to tweak it at least a couple of times, because some people don't want to post the same content on their website. But after 60 or 90 days, you send that article out again, but you could create article content for other blog sites. So then the byline leads right back to you, and you can create great links back to your site. I can't tell you how many times, like, I've done articles on other sites, and I'm constantly, I would say, 5% of the traffic that I get into my website is because of articles I've done years and years and years ago that is still on people's websites, and people come back to mine to find out more information, more resources, what's going on, and I mean, they're just finding out today about an article I wrote years and years and years ago. So it's a great thing. Find a blogger, write an article, and get out there with a great byline and have them come right back to your site. I can't tell you how many times it's the joy of seeing that those people come back. Aww, thank you. So you would probably have to edit this article for second use. Like I said, you want to tweak it, because you don't want to have the same article on the same site, at different sites, unless it's a feature or something, or about your book. But you do want to tweak it. Okay, the other thing I talked about of how people get into your site is listing your blog, listing your website as a resource, whether it's in a directory or your website in a listing. For those organizations, you can actually list it there. Sometimes they have resources and stuff, community online places. If your blog serves a purpose for the community, make sure it's listed in places online and offline where people can find it. A lot of times I see my Motown Writers Network blog listed as, a lot of writers groups use it as a resource on their resource page. So that's even awesome because I see their links from the site, and I contact them. I'll just say right off, hey, I see you have a writing group. Could you please list Motown Writers Network as a resource for writers, and to get the word out, to get people into our site to find out more about us. And it can be offline, online. Like I said, if you're doing the offline, online marketing, you should be able to find places where you can list your website. And you want to list your website at a lot of places because you need that. You want that connection. You don't want to you want to kind of make your website work for you, the traffic work for you by everything you do offline and online. Connect with other bloggers like yourself, exchange links, exchange articles, exchange different interviews with each other. If one blogger does an interview with somebody, say, hey, I'm doing an art interview with this person, contact them and say, hey, can I do an interview with that author as well? And they'll do a different a different article for you. But you want to actually use your network. A lot of authors don't use their network, like reach out to other authors. This is not a thing you do by yourself. You really have to get a combination of resources and people in order to help you out and get traffic into your site and market for the 21st century. It's engaging not just with your readers, but everyone around you. It's the 21st century world of marketing. Network with them. If you haven't had a visitor on your site in years, put your website up on Facebook and say, hey, guys, come to my website. Tell me what I need. Tell me what I can do more, and have people come in and actually talk to you about your website. They will, and they'll let you know, hey, why don't you do this? Why don't you do this? Take their suggestions, do it, and then put them as a resource or a link on your website. You can actually do that. I actually have a link page, and if you go to my link page at sylviahubbard.com, you don't see your link on there, please let me know, and I will add you as my link. They have a great way for, especially at WordPress.com, for you to add links on your site, and it can be just proprietary just for that post. So yes, research and connect and network. And you're right, LaShonda, there is so important to network offline and online. So the easy stuff to remember that we just talked about is creating repeat visitors, subscribers, your social networks, and super fans. Now, if you don't know what a super fan is and you are author, then you are missing out on the most amazing thing ever. You have people who don't even know you but love your work and then can share your work with others. Those are awesome people who can actually take what you know, take it to other people and say, hey, you must follow this person. It's funny how I'm other places and then my friends will say, hey, I was out talking and stuff and they said, oh, you must follow Sylvia Hubbard. It's kind of funny. Or people go out of town. One time I had an author who lived here all their lives, but they always promoted out in the universe. They were always in California or on West Coast or something like that. And then they came back from a meeting and they said they were in Texas. And they said somebody told them they had waited so long to get an interview with these people. And then when they got into the interview, they were like, well, you're from Detroit, right? And they were like, yeah. And they were like, well, do you know Sylvia Hubbard? And they were like, no, I don't know her. And they were like, oh, you need to get to know her. So it was kind of cool because I didn't even know who these people were that were talking about me. But they knew about me from someone else to someone else. And it was kind of like, a Pantene commercial that they used to have. I'm not even going to tell you what I just tried to do. I'm so used to using my tablet to do workshops and scrolling up and down. I tried to scroll on my laptop, which is right here off screen, and wonder why the screen wasn't moving. Okay, so best advice I can tell you about 21st century marketing is don't blog about the products you are selling. Now, I know that sounds kind of weird, and the best thing you can do is go to unmarketing.com and follow him. Unmarketing.com. And he talks about don't sell your product. Just sell you. Sell everything else. Sell the niche. Sell what you talk about. Sell everything except the product. Don't blog about the products you're selling. Talk about everything else around the product. That's very important. Blog about the subject, blog about the platform, blog about the brand, but don't blog about I got a book. Stop saying I got a book, buy my book, buy my book, buy my book. People don't want to hear that. They want to hear everything else. And that's how what really sells the product. Keeping them engaged once you start blogging about it. You want to encourage discussions through debates. You want to do serious research on topic ideas. That would be in your marketing plan where you're finding new ideas to talk about. A lot of times I take my journal, and you guys will hear me talk about my journal a lot of times. I take my journal and I'll just write just different things in here or put different notes in here about what I want to talk about next, what I should blog about next. And actually, this is just my 2016 journal. I actually have a lot of these throughout the years that once I do it, I literally go through, so I make sure I don't do the thing again. I literally put an X in there to say, yes, I talked about that. Literally, I put an X in and say, okay, I talked about that. Let's go to the next one. And I try to stay ahead of myself so I'm not Xing out, catching up with my X's. Spend time on your blog design. Question readers about what do they want to see on the blog next. It was kind of cool when I asked my readers what they wanted to see on my blog. And they were like, they wanted to see more listings of my books. They wanted to show easier access. And that's kind of like how I designed my bookstore from my readers. From what my readers' feedback was, because I needed a blog design that was easy for me to create by myself, since I actually designed my blog. But I needed something that was easy for me, but also very accessible to my readers, so they would be able to get on there and buy my books. Focus on building trust. Connect with your social circle, like I said, online and offline. And of course, either host a monthly contest or theme. You can sometimes do daily themes. You know how they have the Motivational Monday, the Tip It Tuesday, which is what I do. I do a tip on Tuesday. I have a Tuesday monthly thing where I go in and I talk about like things authors can do, and actually have great links. So you can always go Tuesday tips and find that out. Writing Wednesday is a popular hashtag that people use. There's Throwback Thursday. I like to sometimes use it to talk about older books that I've read, or older books that I've written. Free Friday. You can have a free thing on your blog. They have a popular one is Sunday Shorts, where they actually have short stories on different blogs, and you can have a short story on your blog. So I know Throwback Thursday is sometimes it's creepy though. I'm gonna tell you that when you're looking at old pictures of people, some of them are very inappropriate. So popular tools you can use for the 21st century marketing, things like, of course, Facebook badges on your website, using the comments that can actually be linked to your Facebook page, having those widgets on there. And of course, you want to always have send and share buttons on your website. So it makes it easy for people to say, hey, I got Facebook. I love what I read. Let me share it. Make sure you have action statements. That's an offline note. Action statements. So let people know, please share this. And if you could you share this if you just joined us? Or give me hearts and let me know you're listening and like what I have to say. But yes, action statements are very important to put in your post or comments and stuff. So then there's, of course, the Twitter buttons on the side, or even the favicons that they have on the sidebar. You know, you want to make sure people can connect with you on the social networks. And of course, have your website connected to your social network. Please, You want to be able to be on social network without being there. And you should be able to do that from your website. And that's a lot of authors. I I just visited. This is off subject. I'm sorry. This is off subject. I'm so intense. I hit my hand. I just saw a website where the girl still had forms to order her books that you could send in a check or money order. I kid you not. I was floored by the fact that she had it. She had no PayPal button at all on this. You would have to send you to get the book, check or money order. And I'm so curious to know, how's this working for her? Actually, I was going to send her a note and ask her. You can also use popular tools to control your website or send out things. I love using Hootsuite. If you're a Hootsuite fan, please say yes. Yes, give me lots of hearts for that one, because I love Hootsuite and how I'm able to use it to organize my different platforms. Right. And well, they had, yeah, some people PayPal leave money on the table. Yeah, you're right. 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 Yeah, but I couldn't believe it. You know what, LaShonda, I'm gonna send you her website so you can see this. Cause yeah, you gotta see this one. This is like you hadn't seen this website since like 2004. I'm a kid. I swear it was not mobile friendly at all. Now that's the last tip about websites. Please make sure that your site is mobile friendly. They're saying 75% of traffic that comes to personal websites now are coming from mobile gadgets, phones, tablets, and so forth. So if your blog is not mobile friendly, you are going to lose 75% of your traffic. You want, like, that's very important to have great mobile design for your website. So please, please, please make sure that is. I cannot tell you or preach enough to get into the 21st century. Use those tools. Second to the last thing is, since we were talking about PayPal, have e-commerce on your website. You must move into the 21st century by having e-commerce on your site. Okay, so we're going to go through first six things that you should always be doing in order to not only be in the social media world, but also on your website. These are combined. So always be aware of what's trending. Not only your statistics, but always be aware of what's trending. What is out there that people want, or what is out there that you have that people want, or what is new in your world, not only in your book world, but just basically current events that you can always bring back to what you do. I always say books are like jeans. They go with everything. So you can basically apply your book to almost everything if you really work it creatively enough. Do readers want what you are posting? Often ask questions to your readers. Are you giving them what they want? Are you really coming out with a book? I mean, I've seen authors come out with a book and the readers will talk to me and say, well, yes, I thought she was going to come out with a book like this, but then she jumped to doing children's books and wondered why she couldn't sell the book, because that's not what her readers were looking for. So you want to make sure you often ask your readers, what do they want? What do you want from me? And it's not like, okay, hey, I'm writing for the readers and I'm just writing to make money or anything. But you have, like I said, those cheerleaders who really want to support you. But if you're not doing something they like, you're gonna lose them. And you work so hard to gain them, you really don't want to lose them. So yeah, you can work on that children's book, but you can actually add short stories to your, if you're doing romance and that's how you got the super fans originally, add short stories to your blog every once in a while and say, hey, check out the new thing I got going on, to keep those super fans interested. Be inspirational, but not perfect. I don't like going to anybody's social media or anybody's website who just look like they're perfect all the time. They have no bad days. I used to talk to my music clients who used to always send out these inspirational music things all the time. I mean, it was always happy. You should always have joy. You should always be this, do this, be grateful, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you have absolutely no bad days. You never just woke up and just been like, oh my gosh, I just don't want to be today at all. You never got sick. You never experienced something. I said people relate to real things and you have to be real with them. So, yes, I always say I'm a very happy person. I'm naturally happy. I'll chuckle. I'll sit up there and amuse myself all day. But there are days when I'm like, yeah, I don't like you. I don't like you talking to me. Don't talk to me. Don't say nothing to me. I'm just in my own world. Don't. And I let people know on social media, hey, if you haven't heard from me, because I didn't want to talk to you. I was feeling myself. I had to work. I had to do something. I like Beverly Jenkins, how she says, yeah, I'm going to the cave. I'm not talking right now. Leave me alone. Or I didn't come back. You know, she's real about it. Hey, I love you, but I got work to do. You know, yeah, like I said, be inspirational, but not perfect. Optimize for success. Make sure you're looking into hashtags, keywords. Keywords and hashtags are your friends. Fuse had a great video about Instagram, and she talked a lot about keywords. I love that. I love like how people are getting back into keywords. And you're a writer. You love words. So finding your keywords and your hashtag niches should be very easy for you. If you have a real love for words, finding those words that you need in order to connect with the readers that you need should come easy. Even if it doesn't, then just get into it, find it, dig around. Like I said, Google tools is great. Now it's all about timing. Everybody always says, well, the next bestseller is going to be because of this, or the next bestseller, this is the formula. I'm going to tell you, it's a billion gurus out there who's going to tell you that they can make your book into a bestseller. And really, in my opinion, and in a lot of other people's opinions, you can't. It's really all about timing, but it's also about the back work that you have done that we have just discussed about and making your book and your website and your presence into the 21st century. That is going to be the key to getting your book to that #1 bestseller or that worldwide known status. It's just the timing of it. Know when to be out there, know when to post, know when to be on your website. You know, do the things that you have to do so when that time comes, you're like, oh, I got all of this already in place. They've already been used. There's, you know, I don't have to blow off any cobwebs off my LinkedIn account, or I don't have to go real fast and do some past updates on my website. Or yeah, I do remember my Facebook name or my password. I think that is so hilarious when people are saying, oh yeah, I want to get on social media, and I say, well, okay, let's log into your Facebook, and they're like, oh well, I don't have the password. That's true subject, true story. And mostly don't try too hard. And like LaShonda says a lot, she says don't do anything that is, if it's hard to do or you're having trouble with, you know, step back from it. You know, if you can't do it, either find someone who can do it. There's a lot of virtual assistants out there that can help you with your social media and help you with your website. But at least know that, okay, I can get out there or connect with it. I have a friend named Octavia. She's my BFF, and she's my BFF. So basically she hates Twitter. She doesn't understand Twitter concept, and even though, you know, she knows I'm like a Twitter fanatic, she's like, I have no idea what Twitter is or what to do with it or how it really works. So what I told her to do, well, since you're so interactive on Facebook, and she's interactive in the local play community, so I said, since you're so interactive, why don't you connect your Facebook to your Twitter, so when you post on Facebook, you're still keeping your Twitter active, you know, and you can still gain an audience there without really working towards it. Do that. Connect your social network together. Like I said, if you have WordPress, you can connect your social. You can put your Facebook, and you can connect it to your Facebook, your LinkedIn, You can connect it to your Tumblr. I mean, you can actually run your social networks basically from your website if you want and never even go on there, but it looks like you're active. Right, you can do it with Instagram as well. I don't see why people don't do that. That's very important, and it's really a key tool to really being out there in the 21st century. So, other things that you can do is make a commitment and stick to it. So, I'm going to give you an example. Like for me, for Periscope, everybody was like, oh, okay, Sylvia should be on Periscope. Sylvia needs to be on Periscope. You know, you do well on Periscope. So I was like, okay, I don't want to do Periscope. I don't want to talk to people. But what I decided to do was, okay, I'm going to do Periscope, but I'm not going to be like that every day. I might start, because LaShonda says it's addicting. So I might start being it every day. You know, I just come in and do a chill scope or something offline or something. But for right now, I just said, okay, I can commit to a week, once a week doing Periscope. And I picked Thursday because Thursday usually is a day it's near the end of the week, but not the end. And I know people are not that busy, and they can listen to the replay, of course. And then I'm able to come in, get off of work, do the Periscope, and then do what I have to do. Right. You pick what's worked for you, which is just awesome. You have to do that, but you have to stick to it. Don't start something. I used to always tell boyfriends, don't start nothing you're not going to finish. If you start giving me flowers every week, then you better do it for the rest of your life. Know that you have to do it for the rest of your life, which is probably why they're not around now. Okay. Don't. Right. Right. Mommy duties this week. So, you're going to get back to it. We're going to be looking out for you, girl. So, like I said, like make a commitment and stick to it. Do smart targeting, which is your hashtags and your keywords. Keep it simple. Don't try to do anything extravagant. A lot of people saying, oh, well, I don't do YouTube videos because I don't have the lights or the cameras. I don't have this. I don't have this. I was like, do you have a good Android phone? And you're like, yeah, I have a great phone. Well, you can do it from there. You can basically create great videos from YouTube, great videos on Periscope. Hey, hi, great to see you in person. Well, I haven't seen you in person yet, but great to talk to you. But yeah, you don't have to be all extreme in order to be in the 21st century. Your phone has more technology in it than the people who rode in the space station who rode in the ship to the moon. You are carrying 20 times more computer power in your phone than they had to get to the moon. So if you know you have that power in your hand, why are you wasting it by saying, well, I don't have a good camera, I don't have good lighting, I don't have this? I think you're just making excuses for what you want to do. And the more you make excuses, the more you're going to sit on the road and get ran over. Keep it simple. Keep it simple and do it. Just do it and get it out there. Content is king. Create content on your website. Create content on Facebook. Create content on, Fear Stops. Fear Stop people from doing, trust me, a lot of things. When I tell you Fear Stop people from publishing a book, like I said, I've been in the industry since 2000. I literally still know people who had a book, wrote a book, and did not publish it, and still have not published it. They literally, and every time they see me, oh girl, I'm working on that book. You've been working on that book for 16 years. Are you serious? And I'm like, hey, it'll come when it comes, like my mama said. It may not come when you want it, but it's right up. me 5 in the class. Well, yeah, I know you're gonna get out there, girl. So I'm not really worried about you. You coming along. You inching out the closet. You coming out the closet, girl. I know you are. I know you are. I can feel it. But content is king. Not only do you have to engage, but you have to produce content. And people were like, well, Ooh, I don't want to produce that. I don't want to do. You have something to think about or say at least 50 times. 50 times a day. So all you need is at least 52 posts on your website that has a great picture, a great video attached to it, and it can be at least a minimum of 500 words. I refuse to believe you cannot write 500 words and post it to your website 50 times and then just even schedule it to go out. So you have content. Everyone has content. Everybody has a skill. Everybody has something to say. Everybody has something to do that they can share with others. So that's no excuse. Content is king. Get it out there and get it done. Let people see who you are. Become a prolific presence. Like I said, do at least once a week on your website, but you also want to be out there. Some author used to ask me, I used to get that question a lot. When do I stop marketing? I say you can stop marketing when you stop seeing a McDonald's commercial. If McDonald's say they're never doing a McDonald's commercial again, that's when you can stop marketing. And I swear, I know my great grandchildren will be watching a Happy Meal commercial when they get that age to understand it's a McDonald's. So you have no excuse. Whenever you see one, you need to start pushing your book. So yes, you have to have a prolific presence out there. Remind people. In our marketing class when I was in college, they used to say, people, if they don't know you, they have to see you at least 7 times before they make a decision to buy something from you. After that, they have to see you. After they buy something from you, they have to see you at least 5 times before they make a decision to share. Then they have to see you 5 more times if you have something new in order to buy something else from you. So you, every time you come out with something, you're going to have to get out there, and it's not just that one person. You have a lot of times to try to impress somebody to say, hey, you need to buy from me. You need to support me. You need to share me. And like I said, you need to be out there, promote one a month and wonder what. Right, I know. Or they send out a blog post at 6 in the morning, but you have to realize that 6 in the morning happens at least 4 times in America. Did you know that? So your 6 in the morning is not California time 6 in the morning. They didn't see that you talked about your blog post then. So that means you need to at least talk about your blog post 4 more times that day to remind people, hey, I produced a blog post that day, or hey, I got a book coming out, or hey, I'm about to do this event. It's really, you have to have a prolific presence in order to remind people. And like I said, it's not about selling your book. It's about just getting content out there to, yeah, 4 times to get people out there. And when I told somebody that, I was like, 6 o'clock happens at least 4 times just in America alone. And they were like, oh, I never thought about it like that. Well, that's 21st century marketing, where we're not thinking locally, but we're thinking globally. We have to realize that, we're trying to get the word out to everybody, but on a small scale. And that's what you have to do. You have to be able to put it out there. So using things like Hootsuite to remind everybody, hey, I produced this today. Go check it out. You actually will do awesome foot traffic into your site. Like I said, 7 times. They need to see you 7 times in order to say, hey, I want to do something for this person. I want to promote them. I want to buy from them. I want to do something. So get out there and do it. Okay, the last thing I'm going to talk about is exploring new mediums. Now, I haven't really been specific in terms of social networking, because that's a whole nother class. This is just basically about the 21st century marketing things and tactics that we need to see that we have to do, and we can't do it the same way. That's basically what this whole thing was about, is about taking old ways, making it new again, but also relating to what's going on in the 21st century and how we can't do a lot of stuff we must leave in the past. Exploring new mediums such as Periscope, such as the new thing that's out. It's called Anchor, which I wish I had the Android app for it, but they don't. But Anchor is an awesome new medium. They have, of course, Blab TV, that's out, which I'm gonna try real soon. Lashana, maybe we should do like a Blab so you can like have me as a test subject, so I don't have to do it by myself and be all lonely. But it's just new mediums that are constantly coming out. Now, I'm not going to tell you to jump on every bandwagon, but at least look into it and see if it's good for you and good for you to do, or if you would like to do it. Research, Google it, look at videos of other people doing it and see if this is something you want to do or if you can do it. A lot of people don't do that. They'll say, oh yeah, that's another password I gotta remember. Don't do that. Please stop doing that. In order for you to get out and sell a book, you're gonna have to come up with new and creative ways instead of doing the same thing everybody else is doing. So you want to put your name on something. You want to bring the same uniqueness that you put in that book and bring it out on your website, on your social medias, on your new mediums, bringing that to the forefront, and as to why people bought that book will bring not only new readers but old readers back to you. So if you guys have any questions about it, and I know I like preached a lot. I sounded like a preacher. Like, stop doing that, or I'm going to hit you in the hand or something. You can always check out my website. If you missed a Periscope by me, right now I'm not selling any video content or anything like that. So you actually can check out my YouTube channel. My name is Sylvia Hubbard 1. We should have I should tell people to just throw up the dollar signs when I'm talking to, make it seem like y'all throwing down at the pulpit. If you want, you can check out my website. For the YouTube channel, it's Sylvia Hubbard 1. You can find me across the board on all social networks. Of course, if you type in Sylvia Hubbard in the search engines, you'll find me. But most times, except on Facebook, my username is Sylvia Hubbard and the number 1. And that includes Instagram, Twitter, Periscope, YouTube. I usually keep it Sylvia Hubbard 1. The reason why, past story, and I say this I think in every Periscope that I do, because somebody else has Sylvia Hubbard on on Twitter, and they don't even use the account, so make sure y'all don't follow them. Y'all know when y'all see my face, it's the same face and the same goofy smile, so make sure you're following the picture of Sylvia Hubbard going like this, okay? So okay, so you can also check out my website. The howtoebook.org is actually a new site for me where I'm going to be doing curation on different ways to market in the 21st century, and also to be able to bring in new content and stuff like that. SylviaHubbard.com is my website. MotownWriters.com, of course, is for my organization. Off subject, you can always check me out at Love a Black Woman, and that is a Tumblr site, and Motown Moms Musings. If you're interested, I also take on guest posting for different sites. So if you're a mom, would love to write an article. If you are a marketer and you would love to submit an article, if you want a book feature, actually, if you would love a book feature and you're on my Periscope and you hear this, just send me go to my website, hit the contact button. It says contact me. Say, hey, Periscope, you said you could feature me. I actually feature you on my Tumblr site, no matter where you are. Most times on Motown Writers Network, we only feature Michigan authors, but Tumblr, I can feature you there as well. So just to let you know, I can do it, and I don't mind sharing the love, sharing things like that, especially like if you're getting no traffic. No traffic at all. I would love to just help you out. So check me out. I'm going to get ready to get out of here. I want to thank everybody for joining me giving me all the hearts and everything. And of course, connecting with me. Like I said, I'll be coming out with my new book, Internet Marketing for Writers and Businesses, soon. So keep abreast. Make sure you go to my website and subscribe so you know what's coming up. I'm updating it as we speak, taking all the tips and tricks that I'm telling you now and actually putting them in a book so you guys can really understand and have the resources right there. If you do want a copy of this, I always accept donations, and I have like the PowerPoint. If you want the PowerPoint to this workshop, just contact me and we can work out a love offering. I might do like a $1 donation or something for the PowerPoint to it. I don't know. I'll work it out once I load this up to YouTube and everything. But like I said, if you want other people to hear this, or you want to play it for your writers groups, I actually had someone tell me they were playing my last Periscope for their writers groups. So that was kind of cool that they had that, and they were emailing me questions all week. So that was kind of cool. But yes, this will actually go after 2 days from Periscope. We'll go over to the YouTube. So check me out. If you guys don't have any questions, I'm going to get ready to wrap this up because I usually try to keep these Periscopes under 45 minutes, but now it's going on until like an hour and 15. So I want to keep it kind of short. I don't like really long Periscopes, but this is, thank you. Yeah, it's a good way to repurpose. I said anytime a tip for you, LaShonda, is that if you do want to like have to sell it, I've seen people use Vimeo to have it downloaded. So I could do that. Have put video on Vimeo and have people download it for a price. So you can actually do that. That's other marketing tips for the 21st century. We'll go into a lot more things next time, actually. And I did have my notes of what we were going to be learning next time. I was like, oh, I should. But don't forget our homework. Find a blogger and go out there. And then next week when you come back, you can actually say, hey, I did the homework. We're going to go more into getting people into your website, more into it, and samples of or tips and tricks of how you can actually learn to get more website traffic into it. We're going to go a lot more into detail because this is going into the 21st century marketing. It's not something you can do simply, but this is like the starting point of it, of understanding engagement, understanding list building, understanding collaborations, understanding your social networks and how it works towards your website, and understanding the 21st century ways that the 20th century ways that you need to stop doing. Billboard sites, no engagement at all. Even if someone comes into your website and says thank you, you should reply back. Definitely. And people say, well, why would I need to say thank you? To reply back to a thank you. Well, because they took the time to take their butt up over to your website and say something to you. You could say something back. But next week, we're actually going to get into how to bring traffic into your website. I have a great article on SylviaHubbard.com that actually talks about if you aren't visiting your website, why should anybody else be? So you should look that article up, check it out, and we'll be addressing some of the problems that you have. So if you do have problems, and you're saying, hey, I got this problem with my website, just send me a message. Hey, I know you're going to be talking about bringing traffic into your website, but this is my special problem. I would love to hear from you. Contact me. Go to my website, SylviaHubbard.com. Hit the contact button right there in the front and send a message over to me or a question. Later on today, of course, I'll be on the radio with Karen Dumas, 910 in Detroit, talking about the Motown Literary Brunch that we're going to be holding here next week, March 19th at the Skillman Library. This week, actually, March 12th is our monthly Motown Writers Meetup discussion. You can go to meetup.com/Michigan Literary Network, and we're going to be having Tammy Turner. You can check her out at TamTurn, TamTurn, and she'll be talking about how to network. So I'm in the network kind of mood. So I'm excited to have her come in and talk to us. She has a very wonderful book. You can check out her book. Look up Tammy Turner on Amazon, and she talks about, and her book is actually about networking. So check her out. And yeah, March 19th, we're having the Motown Literary Brunch in the city of Detroit. So it's a women's brunch. We'll have Beverly Jenkins, Anna Clark, Onetta Barnes come out and talk about their experience. Plus, we're going to have Karen Dumas come and actually moderate a panel about literacy and literary in Detroit and how we can make things better for families, for children, for adults. So I hope you join us. I don't think there's any, I think there's like 3 or 4 VIP tickets left. So you need to go to the website, motownwriters.com, in the top, right there on the sidebar to the right hand side, you'll see the literary brunch. So get your VIP tickets. Or you can come to the free one after it comes in. Like, it starts, actually the free part starts at 11:30, 11:45. But the VIP, you get to network, you get the swag bag, and you get the good food. So yeah, I better get those tickets, the 3-4 tickets that's left. I'm not expanding the tickets. I think they stop selling after, I think, Saturday. So if you haven't got it, get your tickets now. Get in your Sunday best, and I hope I see you next Saturday. And in April, there's the Romance Slam Jam in Detroit. Get your tickets now. I will be there. Actually, I'll be teaching a workshop on how to bring traffic into your website and be face-to-face. You can actually see me, and we can do the PowerPoints and everything. We'll be going through resource. I have a resource sheet available. Plus, I'll be there signing books. I'll have at least 3-4 books of mine out. So I hope to see you there at the Romance Slam Jam in Detroit. After that, I'll be doing the Tulip Fair. That's in Holland, Michigan. And then there's the Rust City Belt Fair coming up. You can check out my Amazon page for upcoming events to come, and that's amazon.com/author/Sylvia Hubbard. Of course, if you don't get all my links in Periscope, you can always go to my website, sylviahubbard.com. Like I said, check out all my other websites as well, and you can find out great information about me and what I'm doing, and of course, the literary world in Michigan. Thank you. I'm going to get out of here, and I'm going to get some sleep. Tomorrow night, we're doing Brian McKnight, so everybody knows who Made My Night is. So I'll be doing Brian McKnight tomorrow night, so I'm really excited about it.